much. Good morning, everybody. Do we love Illinois? We love Illinois. We love Illinois. So you have a big, big building in Chicago. You know that building, right? Trump International Hotel. Number one. Look at those people back there. Wow. Wow. Well, I want to thank you all for being here. We have a big, big week coming up. We have a big century coming up. We have a big decade coming up. We're going to do some things that are going to be amazing, and we're going to take our country back and make America great again. We're going to do it. So, thank you very much, folks. And on Tuesday, you have to do one little thing. Go out and vote. You know, we have, and it's not me, it's we have a movement going on that's not seen before. I mean, they have not seen, even the media, the very dishonest media will tell you, there has never been anything like we have going. Never. Never happened before to this extent. And you see it in the primaries. You see it in the polls. You see it all the time. You see it in the polls. Millions of additional people are going to vote. Millions on the Republican side. And they're not it's not, by the way, I have to be honest. It's not for Marco. It's not for Ted. It's for us. It's for us. So a lot of things are happening. And, you know, this all began in June when I said, got to do it. Got to do it. You can't take it anymore. You see what's going on. You see these horrible trade deals. You see the deal with Iran, maybe one of the worst deals I've ever seen of any kind. We give a terror nation, Iran, $150 billion. We get nothing. We get nothing. Those deals, it's not going to happen anymore, folks. Not going to happen anymore. You have your industry moving out. Illinois is a big example of it. You know how badly things are doing. I mean, you are a great example if you really think about it. Your taxes are through the roof. Your companies are leaving you. You got nothing going. We have nothing going. Throughout the country, largely, we have nothing going. We have higher taxes, every year, higher taxes. And honestly, you guys are really one of the big factors. Ohio's not doing well. You know, Ohio likes to talk about how they've stabilized. What they've done in Ohio is raise everybody's real estate taxes so high that they're choking. And then they say, oh, we didn't raise taxes. No, they raised real estate taxes. And, you know, what he did is he approved NAFTA. NAFTA was the beginning of the end. Companies moved out, and Governor Kasich, you know, he went out and he approved NAFTA. And NAFTA was a disaster. Now he's in favor of TPP. TPP, think of it, TPP is even worse. It's going to kill so many businesses in our country, destroy our jobs. Folks, it's time to stop. We've got to use our head. Now look, just so you understand how bad TPP is, and I'm just going to say it for a second because a lot of people, it's called Trans-Pacific Partnership. It is a disaster for our country. And what you have is you have other countries basically sucking away our money, sucking away our jobs. You're closing down your factories and your manufacturing plants, and we're going to stop it. We're going to keep our business here. We're going to bring our business back. We're going to bring jobs back to America, folks. We're bringing jobs back to America. So, yesterday I was in Ohio. We had amazing, amazing days. And I was in Cleveland, which was that we were greeted so warmly. And by the way, you would never believe that if you listened to the press. And every once in a while, we'll have a protester get up, say something. Usually it's staged, okay? Usually it's staged. But they'll say something. We stop, and we have fun. It's okay. We have fun. But you listen to these guys. I watched the morning shows. I was on the morning shows. Mr. Trump, it's terrible. You know how many people have been injured at our shows? Nobody. Nobody. We have 25,000 people and 20,000. 2 weeks ago in Alabama, we had 35,000 people. And people stand up. And you ever notice? I guess I'm getting soft, but I'll tell the police. Do we love our police, by the way? They're so great. And we don't get them out. The police take care of things, but I'll say to the police, nice and easy, don't hurt the person. But then every once in a while, you get a person that's sort of violent, likes to hit people, likes to swing, likes to do things. So you be a little bit tougher, and they'll say, why did you, this morning, why did you treat that person so badly? Well, the person was violent. You know, we're supposed to be. By the way, could you imagine if some of you went to a Bernie rally, right? If you went to a Bernie rally. Number one, folks, his crowds are going way down. He's pretty much finished. He got a little lucky last week. He's going to keep it going. But I really would rather run against Hillary, to be honest with you. It's going to be more fun. And she's probably going to be allowed to run, even though she should not be allowed to run. She shouldn't be allowed to run. She truly shouldn't be allowed. But anyway, but how about this? If we went to a Bernie rally, you know what? It's incredible. We have protesters, some of whom are so mean, so loud, so vicious, they stop us from really our First Amendment rights, right? Freedom of speech, you can't talk, they're screaming. There are very few of them, but they are bad. Now, you hear about a couple of, one in particular, vicious, swinging. Well, guess what happened? Our people started swinging back. The next day, we were the bad ones, and it was like this innocent guy, and I was standing up here watching. He had a voice like Pavarotti, but he was hitting people. And when we hit back, we're the bad ones. Always we're the bad ones. Now, change it around. You go to like a Bernie rally. I wouldn't bother with Hillary because Hillary doesn't get too many people, to be honest. There's no fervor. There's no fervor there, folks. No fervor. But if you go to a Bernie rally or a Hillary rally, let's put her in, okay? You go to one of these rallies and you protest, oh, you'll be in trouble. They'll lock you up for the rest of your life. They'll give you the electric chair and they'll say, poor Bernie, oh, poor Bernie, he had to endure this. With us, they don't say that. I'll tell you, with us, they don't say it. So we did something that worked out to be actually very good. We had 25,000 people coming to a rally in Chicago. And we made, right? Oh, a lot of you. Oh, oh, wow. Whoa. Whoa, I love you folks. Look at you. Wow. All right, so we're going to make up for lost time, okay? That's amazing. That's amazing. So we had this massive crowd of people, and we had protesters that immediately came. In other words, you know, Ayers was there, who wrote Obama's book. They say he wrote the first book, the good one. You know, that's what they say. Who knows if it's true, but they say he wrote the first book. But Ayers was there, troublemaker, and yet a lot of people there. They had all of the Bernie signs made right from a printing press. Everybody had them. They were handed out. But you had a group of people, 3,000 people, and maybe even more, and they all showed up. Did you notice? Some of you were there. They all showed up like at the same time. It was totally organized. Troublemakers, troublemakers. You know, the truth is, they're disruptors. They're really disruptors. They're not protesters. They're disruptors. They're supposed to disrupt, okay? Don't worry about them. I don't hear their voice. You know, I told somebody, our rallies are so big and we have so many people, I never hear their voice. I only hear our people's voice saying, there they are. There they are. Don't worry about it. Let's find out. If they have a big voice, we'll stop and the police will take them out of here, okay? Let's hear your voice. Go ahead, let's hear it. Can you have any voice? Come on. You have any voice? I don't hear much of it. So in Chicago, what happened? Very nice, but we did a cancellation. We did a postponement. We did a postponement. Maybe I can say we did a postponement until today because you're all here, right? I'll say till today. That way I get away with not having to do it again because I will do it again. But in Chicago, we postponed. Now, the fair television and the fair media said we did a great thing because you would have had a pretty big skirmish. People could have been hurt, and who needs it, right? So we canceled. What I felt badly about is some people got there 10 hours early. 7 hours early, like you, right? It's amazing. I mean, you got here 7 hours early today. You know, they get here at 5 in the morning. Can you believe it? I only hope, fellas, it's worth it, okay? We've got to give them their money's worth. So in Chicago, we did a cancellation. All right, get them out of here, please. Get them out. Get them out. You can get them out. Thank you. Thank you. Get them out. And we did a really great thing. Nobody hurt, nobody injured, no problems, but very inconvenient. You know, you talk about freedom of speech. You people you couldn't be there. So I went on the shows this morning and they said, Mr. Trump, you're provoking. I said, what am I doing? 90% of the time I'm telling the police, take it easy, don't hurt them, just take it easy, don't hurt them. And, you know, it's one of those things. But we're not provoking. We all want peace. This group, is that true or what? We don't want trouble. We don't want trouble. We don't want trouble. I will say, with all of that being said, and that's 100% so true, but with all of that being said, we're being disenfranchised so much in this country. People, their jobs are being taken away. Their companies are being shipped down to Mexico. You're stuck here, and Illinois is a great example, but you're stuck here with high taxes, no job, a house that you can't pay the mortgage on. I mean, I know what's happening. And even very successful people are being wiped out. You saw what happened to Carrier, air conditioner. 1,400 jobs, bye-bye, you're gone. We're moving to Mexico. Now look, a lot of the so-called conservatives, you know, they call them the elite. They're elite. They don't have 10 cents. They're elite. Now you tell me a little question. They are elite, right? These are the elite conservatives. Do you think they have an airplane like that? I don't think so. So if they don't have an airplane like that, they're not elite, I guess. I always hate to hear they're elite, the elite people. Give me a break. And by the way, just so you know, the elites are calling me all the time. They want to work a deal because, you know what? They have never seen anything like this happen. Millions of people are going out to vote. They're going out to vote for me, but millions of people. And people that they don't even know about, the biggest names in the Republican Party are calling behind their back. The media doesn't know, and they want to work a deal because they see what's happening, folks. Really, really important that you go out and vote. Really important that we win Illinois. Really important if there's people from, anybody from Ohio? Anybody? Nobody. Well, for the 12 people from Ohio, you better go out and vote because we're going to do a much better job than Kasich. That I can tell you. But you got to go out and vote. So, you know what is happening is we're doing something that is being talked about. It's the biggest story in politics. Millions and millions of people, millions, are going out and they're voting. It's never, ever happened before. And the people that are voting, interestingly, the people that are voting, many of them have never voted before. And I see them. Sometimes I'll shake hands up here or I'll sign autographs. And people say to me, 40, 50, 60 years old. One woman in Tennessee, 93 years old, she never voted. She said, Mr. Trump, you're the only one I've ever felt I wanted to vote for. And we are getting thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that never voted before. We're getting tremendous numbers of people from everywhere. Guess where? The Democrats. Now we're up millions of people. We're getting independents, we're getting Democrats, we're getting people never voted before. The Democrats are down 35%. There's no spirit for the Democrats. We are going to win a very big election. Do you remember when they had Democrats for Reagan? We've got Democrats for Trump, and I'll tell you, it's going to be much bigger than Democrats. And I love Ronald Reagan, but it's going to be much bigger than Democrats for Reagan. We are getting massive numbers of Democrats. A friend of mine's a big movie producer in California, very liberal guy. He said to me, and he has a lot of power, very powerful guy out in California. He said, Donald, you have no idea. California, oh, that's okay, leave him alone. Got no voice. Fellas, leave him alone, leave him alone. Look at that person, that foolish person. All right, get him out of here, get him out. Get him out. Send him back to Bernie. Send him back. Remember when they took over the microphone for Bernie, right? They took over the microphone. I'd get them out of here. Go ahead, get them out. You see where they place themselves? Right in front of the cameras. See that? That's all they care about. Disgusting, right? Right in front of the cameras. I'd get them out. Now. See where they put themselves? Right smack under the cameras. It's frankly disgusting. And then they say on the shows, it's terrible the way you treat. We didn't treat anybody. USA, USA, USA. I love it. I love it. All right, so you got to get out to vote. Let me give you a brief. You have little Marco Rubio. Guy hasn't shown up to vote. He's like setting a record for the least votes in the history of the U.S. Senate. He's weak on illegal immigration. He's in favor of amnesty. I think you can forget about him. Florida does not like him. I won't tell you what the polls are, but it's looking pretty good in Florida for me. I think we're up 21 points, so that's good. You have Lion Ted Cruz. Lion Ted. Lion Ted. He walks in, from Canada. He comes right out of Canada. Spent his first 4 years in Canada. He was a Canadian citizen until 16 months ago. So you have Lion Ted. He holds the Bible. And by the way, do you see I'm winning the evangelical vote all the time? All the time. I love the evangelicals. I love the Christians. And by the way, they are chipping away at Christianity in this country. You know, if I say something about another religion, we go through hell. You say something about Christianity, no problem. That's not going to happen anymore, folks. And you know what? And you know what? Come Christmas time, because if we have a good November, like a really special November, even though I won't quite be there yet, we will be there psychologically and mentally. Come Christmas time, we're going to all be saying, Merry Christmas. It's going to be back. You ever notice these stores, you don't see Merry Christmas? They took it off. I say, why don't you have it? Well, it's not really the right thing. It's going to be the right thing, believe me, folks. It's going to be the right thing. So we have Lion Ted Cruz. So Ted comes in with a Bible, holds it high, and he talks. You know, he's a good debater, bad talker. Do you ever notice? He debates, wah, wah, boom. And yet I beat him in every debate according to the polls. Every single. Can't talk. So what happens is Lion Ted lifts up the Bible, puts down the Bible, and then starts lying. And even Rubio said, you're a liar. And when a politician, senator, says that to another politician, I said, finally, I have cover. Remember what Ted Cruz did in Iowa to Ben Carson, who endorsed me, by the way. We love Ben. We love Ben. Ben was going forward with the race, no problem. And Ted said, he's out of the race. He's out of the race. And you know why he's doing badly with evangelicals? Because evangelicals are smart. And evangelicals do not like liars, okay? I'm telling you. I'm telling you. They saw that. Actually, he did the same thing with Rubio. He said, Rubio is out of the race in Florida. He just did it like a couple of days ago. They actually have memos. By the way, is he out of the race? Pretty close, right? But I would never say that. So look. Then we have Kasich. Nice guy. Says he's really nice. Never mixes it up. He's the nice person, wonderful guy. You know what he said? He was on one of the shows today. I think he was on Meet the Press, one of them. And they asked him about Trump. What do you think of Trump? Well, I don't see his rallies. Well, if he doesn't see my rallies, he's the only one that does it, right? But then he said something that was sort of amazing. And we all like sports, and we love sports, right? But he said, well, what do you think of that? What do you think of this? And what do you think of what he said here? He said, honestly, I don't watch television except for one show. I only watch the Golf Channel. I said, what? No, I love golf, but I don't get to watch the Golf Channel. I don't want a guy that watches the Golf Channel and nothing else. He actually said, I only watch the Golf Channel. So look, here's the bottom line on him. He approved NAFTA. He voted for it. It was a disaster. He's approving TPP. He's totally in favor of it. It's a disaster. It's going to kill our country. It's going to kill Ohio. It's going to knock out the car industry in Ohio. It's going to hurt whatever you have left in Illinois because you guys are losing too fast. You're losing too fast. I got to keep you here. Do me a favor. Promise that you'll stay without leaving for 2 more years. I'll get it fixed, okay? I'll get it fixed. You guys owe a lot of money. They owe a lot of money. They keep raising those taxes up, up, up. You know, the problem is eventually everyone just leaves and they have nothing. They have nothing. So stick around. We're going to make you very happy. Believe me, we're going to bring jobs back. They're coming back from China. They're coming back from Vietnam. They're coming back from all over the world. They're coming back from Mexico. They're killing us at the border. They're killing us with trade. And guess what we're going to do with Mexico? And I love Mexico, and I love the Mexican people. They're great people. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to build a wall, right? We're going to build a wall. It's going to be a real wall. And I won't even ask you. I'll tell you, Mexico is going to pay for the wall, folks, okay? Believe me. You know, you saw the other day, you had Vicente Fox, right? He was on the ex-president, and he was angry. He was being interviewed by CNN, and he was angry. And you know why he was angry? Because he's not getting his way. Hello. Go back home, darling. Sorry, get him out of here. Get him out. See, nobody gets hurt, right? Who gets hurt? So I've had the biggest rallies that people have ever seen, especially this far before the election. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Nobody gets hurt. Nobody gets hurt. But you listen to the thing. I was listening this morning. It almost like these things are death. Nobody's been hurt. Now, sometimes we talk a little bit tough. When I see somebody out swinging his fist, I say, get him the hell out of here. You know, we're a little bit rough. They hate to hear that. They hate to hear that. Why did you act so viciously toward that young person that was really protesting? I say, he wasn't protesting. He was swinging. He was vicious. He was dangerous. They took him out. And you know what? That was okay in that case, okay? They are so dishonest. These people are so dishonest. So here's what's going to happen. So on the stage, I said the other day, very strongly, we're building a wall. And all of a sudden, I'm hearing over the last month, Cruz is saying, you know, ba, 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 and we're going to build a wall. I said, where did that come from? And then Rubio says it. And all of a sudden, because you know, I was the only one with the wall. Sheriff Joe Arpaio endorsed Donald Trump. Sheriff Joe. Now, when Sheriff Joe endorses me, that means I'm the one in terms of border. So they come off and they say no wall, but now they're all saying you have to build a wall. Believe me, folks, just like in Iraq, I said we shouldn't have gone into Iraq, and I've said it from the beginning, don't go into Iraq. They try and say, oh, but before it ever went in, I was against because you're going to destabilize the Middle East. Okay. It's a disaster, one of the worst decisions ever made. Obama got us out horribly. But what did I say? Keep the oil, right? We got nothing. We went in, We spent $2 trillion. We lost thousands of lives. We have wounded warriors who I love all over the place. They're incredible people. They're tougher and braver than all of us put together, honestly. These people are incredible. So look. And we left. We're the only ones, you know? We go in, we fight a war, and we leave. We fight a war, we leave. We get nothing. We never get anything. In the old days, we got when we were smart, but we're not smart anymore. We have leaders who are incompetent, who don't know what they're doing, and that's what's going to happen. So here's what we're doing, folks. Here's what we're doing. Number one, we have to win on Tuesday. And I'm counting on Illinois. And we just got a very good poll. I think it was CBS. We're up quite a bit in Illinois, but I don't want to tell you that because I want you to think that we're a little bit down, that you have to go. So we're not up, just relax, okay? We're up a little tiny bit, okay? We're actually up a lot, but I don't want to say it. So look, we got to start by winning because, you know, they can talk about a movement all they want, but a movement is only good if you win. You know, Muhammad Ali, he was a friend of mine, a great guy, still is, but I don't see him anymore. But I used to love him, he's a special guy. And he used to give the jive. He used to talk. He used to get up there and he'd dance around and he'd say you're an ugly bear. And it was all okay as long as you win. Now, I've had guys and seen guys that talk just as well, but they couldn't fight just as well. And when a guy gets up and talks and then gets knocked on his you-know-what, I'm not allowed to say that because the press doesn't want me to use bad words. Can you believe that's a bad word? Okay, so folks, so he gets knocked on his you-know-what, it doesn't have very good impact. So it only works. So here's the thing. Time magazine, many, many covers. You know, all my life, Time magazine, I was on twice. And in the last 4 months, 5 months, I'm on all the time. But I'm not on, we're all on. We're on. Everywhere I go, we have amazing, amazing people. So the most important thing we have to do is on Tuesday, no matter how you feel, I don't care, and I won't go through the whole routine, no matter how you feel, no matter this, no matter that, your wife, your husband, forget it. Who needs it? You've all heard it. You got to get up, you got to go, you got to vote. Because the more we win by, the better it is. And by the way, the more we win by, because it's proportional, the more delegates we're going to get. So you got to get up. You got to get up. Now, so when I came down, we came down the escalator with my wife, and we were talking about two things, primarily. Illegal immigration, by the way, did I take heat or what? Did I take heat? Illegal immigration, we were talking about very strongly. I turned out to be right. You had Kate in San Francisco. You had Jamil in Los Angeles. You had the vet, the beautiful, wonderful 65-year-old woman, a veteran, raped, sodomized, and killed by an illegal immigrant. And it turned out to be a tremendous problem. It is a tremendous problem. That's why we're going to have a real border. And by the way, people are going to come into our country. We want people to come in, but they've got to come in like you, legally, right, my man? Legally. Oh, I'd love to get you up on the stage. I'd love to show them that shirt. I don't know. These guys, I'd love to get him up here. Can I? Come on, bring him up. Just Jimmy, come on. Bring him up. Bring him up. He knows if he makes a move, he's going to get clobbered by these guys. Did you see these guys take the guy down yesterday? Man, they took him down. Thank you, that's great. I didn't think they were going to say yes. And look at him, he's a tough-looking guy. Come on, don't worry. Oops, he has a hard time getting over, but he's fine. Look at this, come here. Come here. You look good. Thank you. Want to say hello? Oh, say hello. Come on.
I'm surprised I'm up here. I came to this country when I was 5 years old, and my dad went through how to get a citizenship, and we did it by the book. And I'm here because I'm agitated that the media does not separate legal immigration from illegal. People spill out their guts to come here legally, and it's just really a shame that they give you a bad name. You do support immigration.
Totally support, and I support Hispanics, boy.
Thank you.
I support
Thank you.
Great guy.
Thank you.
Great guy, right? And did I ever meet you before? You know, they're going to say, oh, he met him before. They had a meeting last night. No, I just think, I know great people, and I appreciate it. Where did he go? Oh. I thought he might have left. Thank you, man. What's your name? What is your name? Beautiful. Thank you, man. That's so beautiful. I just see him standing with that shirt. And that's what it's all about. So we want people to come in. We want a lot of people. Hispanics in Nevada, I won big, right? Big. And they do polls. And I won with the Hispanics. I'm winning with the Hispanics. Because, you know, when you're Hispanic, first of all, incredible people, unbelievable people. I have right now thousands of Hispanics working for me. They work hard. They're phenomenal, great energy. But you know what? When you're here legally, you don't want people pouring in. It has nothing to do with any kind of anything. You don't want people pouring in, taking your job, taking your house, doing things. You just don't want it. You want to go through a process. You want to come in. You want to be a proud American. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to have people coming in, lots of people coming in, but they're going to come in legally, okay? Now, two things. So I want to tell you about the wall. So we need a wall. It's going to happen. They said you can't build it, but China built one that's 13 times longer. China, 2,000 years ago, built the Great Wall of China. It's 13,000 miles long. Our wall has to be it's actually 2,000, but we have a lot of natural barriers. Our wall's 1,000 is what you need, 1,000 miles. China, they didn't have Caterpillar tractors, and we'll insist on using Caterpillar, not Komatsu, right? We're not using Komatsu. Remember the old sign, made in the USA, made in America, made in the USA? We're going back to those signs. We're going to be proud of it again. You know, we're going to be proud of it. When was the last time you saw a sign, a little poster or something on your car or your truck where it says made in the USA? They don't exist anymore. They don't exist. We're going to be proud of it. You know, other countries are proud of it. You know, you go to Japan, I mean, and I'm not knocking them for this. They want to buy Japanese products, okay? They don't want American products. We have a tremendous trade deficit with Japan, massive trade deficit with China. But with Japan, they don't want American products. They want products made in Japan because they're proud of their country. We're going to be proud of our country, and we're going to want products made in the USA. That's what we want, okay? So the wall happened, and people fell in love with it. And then I started saying, not only are we going to build the wall, but Mexico's going to pay. And all these politicians who are all taken care of, you know that, by the special interests and the lobbyists, 100%. You know, in Washington, they have firms that handle individual senators. It says Rubio on his forehead, like this, Rubio. It says Lion Ted Cruz. It goes Lion Ted. They have lobbyists that handle these guys. You go in, you pay a lot of money, and they produce, because they raise them a lot of money for their campaigns, and probably other things, but I can't say that because I don't know, all right? They probably do a hell of a lot more than that, but we don't want to know about it, right? But they raise money for their campaigns, and they're specialists. They're specialists in different senators. Here's the deal, folks. I'm putting up my own money. I don't have anybody handing me money. I've turned down tens of millions of dollars. When I fly that big plane here to be with you folks, it's expensive. I pay for it. I'm paying for it. So, but the point of it is that I'm not controlled by the lobbyists and the special interests. And I've hired many of the lobbyists. They're fantastic. The good ones will always produce. I mean, they'll always produce. So when I tell Carrier that, I'm sorry, folks, we don't like that you're moving to Mexico. We're going to charge you a 35% tax every time you make an air conditioning unit and sell it across our very strong border. And when they go crazy with the other guys, with a Hillary or with these guys, they're going to say, well, I'll work it out. We'll call our lobbyists. They'll work it out. 100% they work it out. With me, the lobbyists won't even call. Because here's what's going to happen. The head of Carrier will call me, and you know, Ivanka and Melania, said, you shouldn't be saying that. It's not presidential. They always like to say not presidential. I'm better than them. I tell you, someday we're going to have to compare IQs, okay? It's not presidential. I don't care if it's not presidential. I want Carrier not to leave our country. I want Nabisco not to leave our country. I want Ford not to leave our country. And I have Carl Icahn, the greatest business leaders in the world. I have many of them endorsing me, wanting to work, wanting to help. We have political hacks negotiating our deals. So here's what I do. I call up, or I have one of the killers from Wall Street. I know that we have the greatest business people, negotiators in the world. We don't use them. We use people that are diplomats. We have Carolyn Kennedy negotiating with Japan. Carolyn Kennedy. She didn't even know how she got the job. She was on television. She didn't know how she said, well, I asked for a job, and it was on 60 Minutes. And she's very nice. Ivanka likes her, so I like her too. But that doesn't mean I wanted to be our chief representative with Japan. So she said, yeah. I went in, I said, I'd like a job to the White House. Pretty good connections, right? And they said, oh, you would? Oh, that's good. How would you like to be ambassador to Japan? She goes, really? Well, this is our chief negotiator. Look, folks, we got to get smart. We take in billions and billions of cars in terms of dollars. Billions and billions. They play games with monetary manipulation that Obama knows nothing about. He doesn't have a clue. TPP doesn't even discuss monetary devaluation. And that's the chief weapon. That's how we're being killed by China and all of these. Because we make better products. But we can't compete because they devalue their currency so brilliantly. So brilliantly. So here's what happens. We've got the best people. I will have one of my guys, because I do want to act presidential, right? Should I act? And my guy will call up and say, listen, you're going to pay 35. They're going to call back the next day. They will have tried to get lobbyists. They will have tried to get special interests. They will have failed. And they're going to say, please tell the president that we're not leaving the United States. We'll build a new plant, maybe, in the United States. Not leaving. Now, that goes for Ford, and that goes for Nabisco. Now, a lot of the conservatives, because I'm a conservative guy, nobody more conservative on military or on health care. We're going to repeal and replace Obamacare 100%. Or on Common Core, nobody more. We're getting rid of Common Core. We're bringing our education local. Or on the Second Amendment, nobody more conservative than me. We're not going to touch our Second Amendment. Believe me, we are not touching our Second Amendment. So nobody more, but the purists, they say, well, Donald Trump's not a free trader. Well, I am a free trader. But to be a free trader, you need smart people on our side, too, negotiating. And we don't have those people. We're not using those people. We'll start, but we're not using those people. So until such time as trade is fair, I just want it to be fair. We don't even have to give them an edge. I don't care. But we can't lose $500 billion a year to China. We can't lose a fortune to Japan. You know, I was reading something just this morning an article where they didn't use numbers. They just said, yes, Japan sends into us tremendously more than we send back to them. Who needs these deals? Then they say, oh, you'll start a trade war. I say, well, that's better than what we have now. I mean, a trade war is better than losing all of this money. What are we doing? We have rebuilt China. And I love China. I have many Chinese friends. They can't believe they got away with this. They can't believe it, okay? They can't believe it. We have rebuilt China. And I always say, it's the greatest theft in the history of the world, what China's done to the United States. Because we've had stupid people at the helm. We've had incompetent leadership. It's not going to happen anymore, folks. A lot of you and a lot of Illinois is really feeling down, and your taxes are through the roof because so many companies have left. And you had great jobs 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Those jobs are now in other countries, in particular Mexico, but they're in other countries. We're not going to let it happen, okay? So now what happens is this. I'm really good on trade. I think, you know, I'll do great. I think you have no doubt about it. In fact, when CNN does this big poll, they came out with a poll, and in the poll it talked about, on the economy, I blow everyone away. On finance, I blow everybody away. I mean, like beyond, like 4 or 5 times higher. On the overall poll, I was 49, they're at 15, blow everyone away. They don't love my personality as much. Actually, I have a nice personality, but who cares? Who cares? They say the best leader is Trump, but they don't necessarily think I'm a nice person. Let me tell you, I'm a nicer person than the people on stage with me, believe me. And you're going to find I'm a nicer person when our country starts getting smart again. You're going to like this person. So what's happened is the trade is great, the border is great, Sheriff Joe, we're going to build a wall. Vincente Fox used the F-bomb. If I would have used it, they would have given me the electric chair. He used it, nobody even mentions it. And his arrogance was incredible. And it wasn't that we said, you're going to pay for the wall. They said, Donald Trump talks about paying for the wall. He says, we will not pay for that you-know-what wall. Now, you know what they do? They bleep me when I say that, and everyone thinks I used a bad word. That's what they do. They bleep me. But he said that because he's not used to being spoken to that way. They're used to getting every single thing they want, and that's not going to happen anymore, all right? Not going to happen anymore. So what happened is, I'm going to do well on the trade stuff. I'm going to do well in the economy. I'm going to be the greatest jobs-producing president that God ever created, believe me. We're bringing those jobs back. But here's something that I think, I love it. I did it yesterday again for the first time in a long time, but I love it. And it's sort of a poem that was a song. So we have a big problem with terror. And you saw they asked me the question about Islam the other day. And I said, I'll stick with my answer, because there's something going on, boy. There's a lot of hatred, whether you like it or not. And it's not politically correct, maybe. And certainly radical Islam and radical Islamic terrorism. And you don't see Obama even using the term. He doesn't even want to use the term genocide for Christians that are being beheaded. He's not using it. And nobody even understands why. I think I understand why, but I won't say it. Okay, so we have a problem with terrorism. And I want you to listen to this, because this represents terrorism. And it's called The Snake. The Snake, by Al Wilson. Anybody know Al Wilson? Great, okay? So just listen, you're gonna love this. No protesting until I finish, okay? On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Oh, well, she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed the broken snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a curvature of silk, and then laid him by the fireside with some honey and some milk. Now she hurried home from work. As soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken in had been totally revived. Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed the broken snake. Now she clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, heaven's sake, you would have died. Now she stroked his pretty skin, and then she kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed the broken snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bit me, heavens, why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. Right? Does everybody sort of get it? Folks, we have to be smart. We have to be vigilant. We have to build up our military. It's the cheapest thing we can do. I don't want to use it. Remember, I didn't want to go into Iraq. These other guys went in. But you don't get out the way Obama gets out. We have to have unpredictability with our military. You can't have generals talking to various reporters, and the whole thing is a mess. I don't think General Patton was big into doing interviews on television or any interviews. I don't think General Douglas MacArthur, what they did is they won. They go in and they won. It was tough, it was vicious, it was ruthless, it was war. It was war. They won. We've been playing around with ISIS. We can't beat ISIS. Think of it, our military. What would General George Patton say in his grave? He's spinning like a top. Can't even believe it. Can't even believe it. So here's the story. You got to go out and vote. I will never let you down. You're going to say it was the single greatest vote you have ever cast by far. You're going to look back in 2 years. You're going to look back in 2 years. You're going to look back in 10 years. You're going to look back in 20 years. You're going to say it was the most important vote you ever cast. Now, here's the story. We're going to start winning again. We're going to win with our military. We're going to take care of our vets. Don't listen to him. We're going to take care of our vets. Remember this. We're going to win with our military. We're going to take care of our vets. We're going to win at the border. We're going to